Putin News Now Putin's agenda. Vladimir Putin has been widely misunderstood by Western leaders. While meeting with him in 2001, President George W. Bush looked the man in the eye and found him to be very straightforward and trustworthy. Not quite. Barack Obama made the claim that Vladimir Putin would rather not get bogged down in an inconclusive and paralyzing civil conflict in Syria back in 2015. Putin has supported his client, dictator Bashar al-Assad, after the murder of over 500,000 Arabs. In the hope that Putin's ambitions would be swept away by a tide of euro, Angela Merkel has made Germany dependent on Russian energy. It appears the Chancellor was wrong. Moreover, American and European leaders went out of their way to avoid angering Putin after he dismembered Georgia in 2008 and annexed the Crimean Peninsula in 2014. While inserting irregular forces into eastern Ukraine to wage an endless insurgency. That's probably why, back in the beginning of 2022, President Biden hoped Putin had only planned a minor incursion into Ukraine. Despite my optimism regarding the current Ukrainian counteroffensive, I cannot rule out the possibility that Putin could emerge from this war as a victor. If this were to happen, what would Putin do then? I can guarantee that, "I'm going to Disneyland," won't be the response. The easiest target is Moldova. It is not a member of NATO and has limited military capabilities. Transnistria, a narrow sliver of territory in what was formerly eastern Moldova between the Dniester River and the Ukrainian border, is already occupied by Russia. Putin could easily take over Moldova in a matter of days. Putin may wish to formally assert his authority over Belarus after sending tactical nuclear weapons there. After that, perhaps an even more audacious step, building a land bridge to Kaliningrad, a Russian territory 400 miles west of the Russian mainland. It was Königsberg when captured from Germany in 1945. The Baltic Fleet of the Russian Navy is headquartered in Kaliningrad. Mobile nuclear-capable Iskander-M missiles and cutting-edge air defense systems are among the weapons at the disposal of the Russian forces stationed there. From Kaliningrad in the east and Belarus in the west, Russian tanks would invade Lithuania. Putin would only need a narrow strip of southern Lithuania, specifically the main road connecting Belarus and Kaliningrad. Putin wouldn't dare attack a NATO member, and Lithuania is one. Have some doubts. Perhaps he'd describe the invasion as a special military operation to restore Russian territorial contiguity at a time of increased NATO aggression against Russia. A portion of Lithuania's 2.8 million people are ethnic Russians, a group he may claim is being persecuted and needs his intervention. We can worry about neighboring Latvia and Estonia, which have sizable ethnic Russian populations, later. Putin could tell NATO, "I'm open to diplomacy, a land for peace deal. But if you'd rather start a war, know that drastic measures may be considered." This begs the question, for what stretch of land in the southern Baltics would NATO members risk a nuclear war with Russia? Turkey? Germany? France? Do you think most Americans would back such a war? If NATO did not defend a member state as promised in Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty, it would be difficult to imagine the organization surviving. For Putin, the dissolution of NATO would be a major victory, which would be celebrated by his communist allies in Beijing and his Islamist allies in Tehran as a major victory in their war against the West. A lesson would be learned in Washington and Brussels, as well as in nuclear-armed Pyongyang. The United States and Europe give in to nuclear blackmail. There is one more geostrategic fact worth mentioning. The Suwalki Gap is a thin sliver of Polish territory stretching from Belarus to Kaliningrad, wedged between Lithuania to the north and Poland to the south. To the north of this passageway is a railroad that connects Kaliningrad to the Russian mainland. However, it operates because of an agreement between Russia and Lithuania, which has resulted in tense relations between the two countries. A year ago, Lithuania banned the transport of coal, metals, and construction materials in order to conform to European Union sanctions. According to Kaliningrad's governor, this constitutes a serious violation of the pact. Even if Russia didn't invade and occupy the Suwalki Gap, that would be enough to activate Article 5. As a result, NATO would have a harder time supporting Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia in the event of a Russian invasion because of the break in communication. Russian and Belarusian troops held a military exercise 2 years ago to practice sealing off the Suwalki Gap and attacking Lithuania. This is no coincidence. Maybe you're thinking that Putin doesn't have the military strength to launch another invasion because of the Ukraine conflict. But if his plan has worked, both Tehran and Beijing will offer their full support. His soldiers' morale would soar. Millions of Ukrainians would be at his disposal to draft and use as human shields or worse, bayonet fodder. This much should be clear by now. Putin's goal, as he sees it, is to revive the Russian Empire, which was renamed the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics for a little over a century. Lithuanian Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė told a reporter last month, "If Russia is not defeated, in Ukraine, then it is just a matter of time before it regroups, rearms, and that it will come for somebody next." Geopolitical strategists in the Pentagon and NATO headquarters in Brussels should be considering outcomes like those outlined above. It is important to finalize defense plans that focus on deterrence rather than appeasement. The upcoming NATO meeting would be an ideal venue for this. The event is planned for July in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania.